So for the first tip in how to deal with your Asian parents when they take care of your kids, so in my first little introduction to the series, I share with you a few stories about how, it was in the beginning and how it is now, and that it was an entire journey of how I got here. Now is the time for the actual tips that I can give you and things that's worked for me in making that situation work for you. So the first thing I would say is lower your expectations, like literally just throw them out the door, okay? As a recovering perfectionist, I've learned and still learning to manage my expectations, and also to curb my need, like this innate desire to become a supermom. Like right now, my son is upstairs napping and I'm working on this, and yeah, I can go upstairs and stare at him all day and be like, oh my god, he's so cute. And I also love what I do. Do I yell at my kids? Yes. Do I swear in front of them? Fuck yeah. Do I put Paw Patrol on as my babysitter while I go get a workout in? Yes. Do I feed them cookies, chips, ice cream, junk with ingredients that I cannot pronounce? Yes. Have there been days where it's nice and sunny out and we stay inside like sloths on a couch watching TV and playing Angry Birds? Yes. Have there been times where my kids haven't taken a bath in days and they're smelling like a ripe Gouda? Yes. Confession time, right? All my kids in all the activities, swimming, ballet, soccer, piano, violin, bird watching, juggling, interior design, all the extracurricular activities that a stereotypical tiger mom puts them in. No. I've come to terms with I'm constantly coming to terms with, as I get tested, right? As she gets older, as the kids get older, I constantly get tested. And I constantly have to continue to manage my own expectations as a mother. But I've had to set like a basic bare minimum for my parents. And keep in mind that their involvement in caretaking for your kids is temporary, right? For us, it's just until they get into kindergarten. And once they're in kindergarten, we're going to try and find a way so that they may not have to do the couple hours after school, you know what I mean? And so really it's just that first 5 years of and even for us, in Canada, we're fortunate that we get that 1 year to a year and a half of maternity leave so we can stay at home with our kids. So it's really from the year, 1 year old to when they enter kindergarten. So it's 4 years, maybe 3.5 years that they're involved. So during that time, you can't have crazy expectations because eventually it will change anyway. So I've created two main responsibilities for my parents, the only two things that they have to do. These are required, law, okay? Number one, keep my kids safe, full, feed them, and clean. Make them wash their hands, if they play in the mud and they're fucking dirty. And I have to go pick them up and they have to sit in rinse them down, okay? Number two, speak only Cantonese to them. Both are relatively easy things for them to do. When the bar is low, it's really, there's almost a zero chance to fail. Except that one time when my dad thought he knew better and started trying to teach my daughter English because he was worried that she wouldn't know enough by the time she started school. Anyway, so tough conversation ensued, which I'll get to in another episode. Anyway, besides those two things, so keep my kids safe, full, and clean, and then speak Cantonese, everything else is free for all, right? If I start making schedules for them to oblige by, rules to follow, expectations to meet, activities to do, foods they can or cannot serve, limits on screen time. The foods part, obviously if your kid has allergies, they'll understand, obviously. Fortunately, my kids don't have allergies. Mandatory, outdoor playtime. Like I'm gonna set myself up for a whirlwind of disappointment. This might be okay. Like if your parents only watch your kids like maybe once or twice a year, then it might be a good thing to have like an actual schedule. Whoops, most my coffee and tea almost killed each other. Like they may not know. Maybe your kids have changed and you don't want them to do things with your kids that a 2-year-old should be doing, and then your kids are now like 3 and 4, right? Like you may want something for them to follow, guidelines. But like my parents take care of my kids 3 times a week, every week. That high frequency of occurrence is going to throw that rigid schedule out the door, out the window, beyond the door, out to the curb. Because if you think about it, like just compare someone who is making a roasted chicken for the first time versus someone who's made a roasted chicken for decades, right? Who's gonna follow the recipe to a T, right? Like measuring exactly a teaspoon of rosemary. And who is going to meander way outside the recipe and start to like think, oh, let's add some lemon zest and some garlic infused butter that I just happen to have made, right? Like who's going to be the one that follows and who's not, right? Besides, like who likes to be told what to do? Especially if the person who's making, especially if they raised the person that's making the orders, right? Being told what to do by being micromanaged, being told like, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. At 8 a.m. you need to do this. At 9 a.m. you need to do this. And it's like, and especially like if you're not physically present to watch them, then they're not gonna follow it. And if you're gonna set yourself up for that, like if you're actually expecting them to follow this schedule to a T, from 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. all the way till you pick them up, you're gonna get really anxious about whether they're following this or not. And wherever you are, maybe you're outside, when you're at work, you're gonna be like, okay, it's 12 p.m. Like hopefully, I'm assuming they're gonna be doing this activity as per my schedule, as per my rules. And then every time a rule gets broken and you find out they did something they weren't supposed to, then you're gonna have to continually drill this in there. It's like you're trying to parent your parent. You don't want to be in that role. Like the reason why they're caring for your kids is so that you can go do your thing, right? Go to work and have that flexibility and that freedom to work. And also you need to obviously make money, right? Like that whole bit of your life. You don't want to be parenting the parent. Like you don't want to be parenting your caretaker. You've already got a kid to parent, so like don't add on more people that you need to care for. So that's like the first tip. There's a few more tips in that, so stay tuned for the rest of the series.